This is the plaintiff, William Peck. He says he and the defendant were good friends. That is, until the guy screwed him over on tickets to the 2012 Baseball All-Star Game. That's right. He paid his good friend for tickets to the game, the Home Run Derby, access to the All-Star event, and he got bupkis from the guy. He can't tell you how disappointed he was to get so close to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, only to be let down right before the big game. He's suing for $1,426, every single penny of the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Edward. He says he worked at Citi Field, home of the 2012 All-Star Game. And as Employee of the Month, he had an opportunity to score some great seats to the big game. He knew the plaintiff was a huge baseball fan and offered him 4 of the 14 tickets he was about to get. Unfortunately, he was fired soon after, and the New York Mets reneged on their deal and took the tickets back. He told the plaintiff about the bad news immediately. He's still waiting for the refund, and he's sorry, but his hands are tied until he gets the check. He's accused of striking out with a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says his good friend screwed him over by not giving him all the tickets and perks to the 2012 All-Star Game. But the defendant says he was fired from the Mets and just couldn't deliver until he got a refund from the team. It's the case of All-Star Wars.
Thank you, Douglas. William Peck, you are suing. Okay, you've asked me to refer to as Edward. All right, you are suing Edward for $1,426, the amount that you paid him for tickets to an All-Star game, as well as interest and inconvenience fees and Western Union fees. Tell me what happened. You two were friends for how long?
I met the defendant about a year prior.
Okay.
When I first met him, he explained to me that he had won tickets to the All-Star game coming up in the following July, July. I said, great, I'm a great big Met fan. I would love to go. He said, yeah, no problem. When we get out, we'll hook up and we'll go forward with it. Come beginning of June.
When we get out?
Yeah, well, I had met him at St. Christopher's Inn. It's a place in Westchester.
Okay.
We were there together for a few months.
Okay.
Coming the past June, they came by. He gave me a call June 5th to be exact, and explained to me that, are you still interested in those tickets? I can get them, but I need the money right away.
What money was it? For fees?
It's for a voucher for the tickets.
Okay. And how much was the money?
It was like, at first I thought it was cheaper, but it came to $190 per ticket. And he had 4 tickets that he was going to voucher for. Okay.
So you end up giving him how much?
Well, that day, I Western Union him $500. About a week later, he explained to me he needed some more money because the calculations were wrong, and he needed an additional $250.
And you gave him another $250?
Yes.
All right, and this was when, in June?
Well, yes, it was in June.
And then when was the All-Star game supposed to be?
July.
All right, and
July
then when
12th weekend.
So when did you find out that, so keep going, what happens next?
So as June comes along, toward the end of June, he's explaining to me how he's waiting for the tickets. Then come July, come right around the All-Star game. Now, this was
not just for the game, right?
Yeah, it's not just for the game, no. What else? It's for the All-Star weekend. It was for the Home Run Derby, a luncheon with the old-timers, a meet and greet with the old-timers, and food, unlimited food served at the game.
All right, so this is like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were very excited.
I was very excited.
And he was doing this for you, why? Because he knew you were a baseball fan. He was able to get 14, and he wanted to know if you wanted 4 of them.
Yes, exactly.
Were you making any money off of this?
No, not at all.
He wasn't making any money.
I could have. The tickets were actually, they say.
Well, you couldn't have, because as we then learned, you got fired, and then they weren't giving you tickets, right?
eBay, somebody was doing it for $1,200 per ticket.
Right.
I didn't want that.
But what ends up happening? He gives you that money, and then he doesn't get the tickets to the All-Star game because...
So the defendant's position is basically, you got to wait until I get my refund from the Mets. Does that fly?
I don't know. You should give me money, and maybe we'll see about how it goes.
That's the thing. I mean, does the plaintiff have to wait until the defendant gets his money back from the Mets?
I don't think so. If you paid for something, you should get what you paid for.
Well, he's not going to get what he paid for. The question is, does he get his money back now, or does he have to wait?
I think he should have to wait until the Mets actually give him the money back.
Why, because you like the Mets?
Yeah, I like the Mets. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Going inside the courtroom.
Because then I later on got a letter, which I have as well, saying that since I was terminated in 2012 from Citi Field.
And why were you terminated?
I was terminated because where I met Will here, I went into that. It was a rehab. Facilitation.
Okay.
I thought that was more important than anything else, so I was terminated.
Okay.
So later on, they gave me a letter, which I have, stating that they didn't realize I was terminated, which then excludes me from getting these All-Star tickets.
Okay.
I actually gave him an email, he probably has it, of the same letter, and I had no idea what to do. I was, heartbroken myself.
But now all this time has passed, and what he wants is his money back.
100%.
Right. And you're not giving it to him. Why?
I haven't received it, okay? And as I told Will, I tried family and friends, and it didn't happen. I tried every which way I had.
You mean borrowing money?
I was going to borrow money.
To pay him back?
I was, yes. 100%, because he deserves the money back. I'm not saying that. 100%, and I know that. And I felt bad about that. I really did. I felt bad that we couldn't get the tickets, first of all, then not to give him the money. This went on, and yes, he felt that he was being roped along, but I didn't have the money. They're holding this from me. I still haven't got it. It's now 5 months past. I still haven't got this refund check at all from Citi Field. There's a whole runaround they're giving me.
That's outrageous.
It is outrageous. I agree.
But why is this his problem, though, and not yours?
I didn't say it was his problem.
Well, it has become his problem, hasn't it?
The only problem that it is that it's prolonged because of money. I don't have it. If I had it, I would definitely hand it to him. He definitely
You
deserves
think that that's a load of manure, correct?
Absolutely.
And why is that?
Absolutely, because I have transcripts that state that he's picking up the vouchers, that he got a refund.
Wait, you have transcripts that state he got a refund. What does that mean?
Well, not exactly transcripts, but I have evidence that says that he got the refund.
What evidence do you? I have not seen that. What evidence do you have that says he got the refund? Yeah.
Can I say something? I'm sorry. I never received a refund. I was trying to get money elsewhere. Maybe that's the confusion on that. I was trying to get it through my uncle.
You will be paid in full, a company check. We have your address and information on file. Right. But I'm just curious. I don't buy his theory that, you got to wait as long as the Mets take or Citi Field takes. But my question to you is, how does that prove he got the refund? It says they're going to send him one. Right?
I guess I was being a little presumptuous with
I'll
that.
say. All right. But, boy, they promise you the tickets. Then they tell you can't have them because you were terminated. Then, wow, the Mets disappointing fans. Who'd have thunk? Okay, now you were suing not just for that $750 back, but $150 that he promised you for your inconvenience?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's
all right. Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Did you promise him $150?
I'm going to tell him, yes. I'm not going to lie. I did say that to him. What I did was my uncle was going to try to help me out. And I felt for the inconvenience because I know that he put his family and that he was going to go.
Okay, but that little settlement offer didn't work out because you didn't pony up the $750, much less an additional $150.
I actually thought I was getting that.
Okay.
I had a family
I know. Yeah, you're trying to. I know you're trying to fix it.
I do. I want to. I really do.
I know, but now it's in my hands and I got to fix it. All right. So now the interest. How do you come up with $486 in interest on $750? What loan sharking have you dipped in?
It's actually not Loan Shark. We did a little research on we Googled it, and it said in the state of New York, you're able to charge 9%.
Not per month, that per annum, per year. So you divide the 9% by 12 months.
Okay.
Oh. All right, here's how it's going to work. Oh, show me the Western Union bill.
Sure.
I believe that he has to pay you back the $750, just like he believes he has to pay you back the $750. I believe he has to pay you the Western Union bill because it didn't work out. And the only reason you forwarded the money is because he had represented it would work out. I also believe with every fiber of my being that you wanted it to work out. I mean, you're just trying to do him a favor, but that doesn't change the circumstances that you got to pay the guy back. And you're entitled to prejudgment interest, which we'll figure out now. It's certainly not the ridiculous figure you're saying, but that's what you're entitled to. And I have to issue a judgment against you for that amount. You mean, you're going to have to pay it. And that's my verdict. My hands are tied on this. It's kind of sad because I know you were trying to do him a favor, but it is what it is. All right, folks, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hold on, please. Well, let's see what the former Citi Field employee has to say about this case as you lose this one.
I knew I owed it to him, and I did want to get it to him. I just didn't have it, and he's entitled to it. But the ridiculous amount of $1,500 was the thing I was really putting interest in everything. But I do owe it to him. But so I'm not too upset. I'm upset, but I'm not upset.
Okay, were you a Met fan
I was
at one
actually
time?
a diehard Met fan.
And
bad taste right now. Bad taste.
Okay. All right. Head right down this way. All right, come on in here. It looks like you win this case, but you don't get everything you sued for. I don't know where you got the interest thing from, but
well,
at least you get your money back.
It is 9%. It just wasn't per monthly. It was an annual. But I mean,
he seems like a decent person. No.
Well, listen, there's a lot more nuance involved in the case than was discussed here.
Give me a nuance. Give me a big nuance that we didn't get.
He had more story than Aesop had fables.
That's pretty nuanced.
You like that,
Harvey? Okay, simple as this. A third-party obligation to a debtor doesn't excuse the debt or give any justification for delaying in repaying the money that's owed. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.